Peter rushed out after Liza. She hadn't gone far from the house yet, for she had been detained by the butler Alexei, who, hatless and in his frock coat, had followed her, keeping discreetly one step behind and holding his head respectfully bowed. The old man, very frightened and apparently on the verge of tears, kept begging her to wait for a carriage. "Go back home, Alexei," Peter said, shoving him aside and taking Liza's arm. "Your master's clamoring for tea and there's no one to get it for him." Liza didn't pull her arm away, but then she hadn't yet recovered from the shock and was in a sort of daze. "To start with, Liza, you're going the wrong way," Peter chattered. "Come this way. We won't have to go through the garden. And then, let me tell you, you aren't dressed for walking the more than 2 miles to your house in this rain. If you'll only wait a few seconds, I'll get the carriage I came in. It's in the yard over there. And I'll take you home and no one will see us." "You're very kind," Liza said gently. "It's nothing, really. Any decent man would do the same in my place." Liza suddenly glanced at him and was astonished. "Good Lord, I thought it was still that old man. Listen, I'm awfully glad that you're taking it so well, because really it's nothing more than a stupid convention, and since that's the way it is, wouldn't it be better if I told the old man to get the carriage ready? It won't take 10 minutes. And we could wait for it under the porch. What do you say? First I want, where are those murdered people?" "Any other fantastic ideas? That's just what I was afraid of. No, better leave that sort of nonsense alone. Besides, there's nothing there for you to see. I know where they are. I know the house. So you know. But for heaven's sake, it's raining. It's so foggy. This is a task that requires the patience of a saint. Now listen here, Liza. One of two things. Either you're coming with me in the open carriage, in which case wait for me here and don't move one step further. Because if you go another 20 steps or so, Maurice Drozdov is certain to catch sight of you." "Maurice, where? Where is he?" "Now, if you wish to leave with him, I suppose I'll walk another few steps with you and show you where he is. But I myself don't feel like going over and saying hello to him. No, thank you very much." "Good God, he's waiting for me?" She suddenly stopped and the color spread over her face. "But surely, Liza, he's no slave to convention. Of course, it's none of my business and I have nothing at all to do with it. But as you know, I only wish you good. Now, since that lover's boat of ours didn't work out, since it turned out to be nothing but a leaky old tub..." "Oh, it's wonderful, wonderful," Liza cried. "You say something's wonderful, but the tears are streaming down your cheeks. You must be brave. You must never give in to a man. In our age, when woman..." "To hell with it," Peter almost spat with disgust. "But above all, there's nothing to regret, and perhaps everything will end very nicely. Maurice Drozdov is a sensitive man, although he doesn't talk much, which is also an advantage as long as he has no stupid prejudices." "Wonderful, wonderful," Liza cried again, bursting into hysterical laughter. Damn it all, finally," Peter said, feeling suddenly offended. "After all, I'm here for your sake, because as far as I'm concerned, why should I care? I was doing you a favor yesterday, since you wanted to do it yourself. And if today you feel differently..." "All right, I can see Drozdov now. He's over there. See? Sitting there. That way. He hasn't seen us. Now tell me, Liza, have you ever read Pauline Sachs?" "What?" "It's a novel. I read it when I was still a student. It's about a prosperous civil servant, Sachs, who catches his wife being unfaithful in their summer house. But never mind, the hell with it. Anyway, you'll see. Even before you get home, Drozdov will propose to you." He still hasn't seen us." "I don't want him to see us," Liza cried suddenly in a mad voice. "Let's go away. Into the fields, into the woods." And she ran back. "Well, that's sheer cowardice, Liza," Peter shouted as he ran after her. "Why should you be afraid of his seeing you? On the contrary, you should look him proudly in the eye. You can't really feel like this because of that. All that stuff about virginity, it's nothing but a prejudice. An obsolete, meaningless convention. Wait, where are you going?" The way she runs. "Let's go back to Stavrogin. We'll take my carriage." "Where are you going?" "There's nothing but fields that way." See, you've fallen." He stopped. Liza had been streaking ahead without looking where she was going, and Peter was already almost 50 yards behind when she stumbled over a hummock and fell. At that moment, a loud and desperate shout came from the other direction. Drozdov had seen her flight and fall and was running across the field toward her. Peter beat a hasty retreat toward the gates of the Stavrogin courtyard, bent upon climbing into his carriage as quickly as possible and removing himself as far as he could from trouble.